Call Lo Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Shalom to the house of David, the church of the saints, the 130 elect, men, women, and children that are part of the elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, or you blacks, Latino, Native Americans today. So we're the watchtower. We're warning you of what's to come. The World War III, and we're blowing the trumpet through the Spirit of the Lord. Well, this happened October 31st. I missed this, but it says a high alert. World War III NATO intercepts 4 groups of Russian nuclear bombers over Europe. Video, what the heck is going on with Russia? What the heck is going on with Russia is Yahweh Shem Yahushua is putting the spirit into them Russians to start this third World War. World War III NATO intercepts 4 groups of Russian nuclear bombers over Europe. Yeah, it's the times we're living in, man. That's why we're watchmen. Isaiah 62:6. I have set watchmen over thy walls, Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest, till he establish him, till he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. We're raising it, the alert, as an unusual level activity. Oh, so I skipped it. October 31st, too, this happened. I missed this, too. Because there's so much going on, you really can't keep up with everything, man. You really can't. Man, it's like all world superpowers are just asking for a fight. Yeah, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is getting ready for the Third World War, World War III. We're raising it, the alert, as an unusual level activity, said Lieutenant Colonel Jay Jensen, a spokesman for NATO's military command in Mons, Belgium. The fights we've seen in the last 24 hours, the size of those flights, and some of the flight planes are definitely unusual. Moscow, NATO said Wednesday that it had intercepted a large number of Russian aircraft flying across to European airspace in the past 2 days, in an unusual series of incidents that brought Russian bombers as far afield as Portugal. Hey, man. Hey, so much movement since the Cold War, man. Surpassed the Cold War. That's the most high, man. America's about to be judged. The aircraft, at least 19 in all, offered reminders of Russian air power at a time at the worst relations between the West and Russia since the Cold War. As a spirit, I just said that. Russian military aircraft have significantly increased activity in Europe since the conflict in Ukraine began earlier this year, with NATO scrambling to intercept aircraft more than 100 times in 2014. But a NATO official said the scale of the latest incidents was the most provocative this year. Over the Atlantic, it's going to get more provocative. Over the Atlantic Ocean, the North, Black and Baltic Sea, Russian bombers, fighter jets, and tanker aircraft were detected flying in international airspace, NATO said. There were no incursions into international airspace, a violation of sovereignty that would have significantly amplified the seriousness of the 4 incidents, 3 of which took place on Wednesday. Are you prepared? That's what we're warning the people, man. All hell's about to break loose. People think this is a joke and this is a game. I think it's a game. World War III, man. That's the times that we're living in. NATO intercepts 4 groups of Russian nuclear bombers. So here it is, people playing game, thinking it's a joke. All hell's about to break loose, man. I want to bring this clip out, man. Just keep you updated on the World War III news. That's the time we're living in prophecy. You know, because America's going to be destroyed in this Third World War. Since the Cold War. The Cold War never went anywhere. All those countries are going to come together, man. Lithuania, Kazakhstan. You know. All them old countries. Moldova, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Lithuania, Armenia, all them countries are gonna come together, man. They're gonna turn on America, the USSR. The Lord's gonna do that. Magog and Gog. That's in the scriptures, man. Kolo Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom to the house of David, the 144,000, the elect, the church of the saints, the 1/3 men, women, and children, the part of the elect that's gonna be delivered from this thermonuclear holocaust that's coming to America. Shalom.
Again and again. NATO jets scrambling to intercept Russian fighters and bombers. Denmark, Germany, Norway, Portugal, Turkey and the UK, plus neutral Finland and Sweden, remain on high alert after 4 probes into their airspace this week. Russian reconnaissance of NATO is routine.
Sweden is neutral.
NATO also probes the Kremlin's defences, but the latest sorties have been on a different scale. Over the North Sea, NATO saw off a flight of 4 Tu-95 long-range nuclear bombers and 4 refuelling aircraft close to Norway. The escorts turned back, but the bombers flew on towards the UK, where they were met by RAF Typhoon fighters. They then flew past Portugal, where Lisbon's aircraft were scrambled. Meanwhile, over the Baltic, NATO aircraft also intercepted 7 Russian fighters on Wednesday for the second day in a row. And Turkey sent its air force to chase off 2 more Russian bombers.
You see, they're chasing Russia. That's crazy. Russia's gonna turn around. Gonna put that hook into Russia, the mother bear, and gonna bite these fucking nations, man. Something's gonna happen where they're gonna turn around, and even NATO's gonna turn on America, man. They're gonna do something real stupid. Russia's gonna just turn around, man, and fucking bite the shit out of America. This ain't in the media though. These Jewish, so-called Jew rat bastards won't put this in the media though.
Approach from the Black Sea. NATO says there's been 100 incursions by Russia this year. That's a 3-fold increase on last year's total.
3-fold increase.
NATO,
Please understand.
Remains vigilant and ready to respond. So the numbers of intercepts by NATO aircraft to intercept Russian aircrafts have also increased substantially.
NATO's Baltic and East European allies are already anxious about Russia's new belligerence following the invasion and annexation of Crimea and Russian operations in eastern Ukraine. The latest aerial maneuvers by Russia comes after suspicious sub-aqua operations off the coast of Sweden. And this week, again in the Baltic, Russia test-fired a Balava intercontinental missile. It's got a range of 5,000 kilometers.
The aim is to bring Putin back to the table with big boys of the world to discuss every important regional, global problem. So altogether, it's called to restore proper position of Russian international system, but to restore it on the Russian terms.
Small wonder that troops and aircraft from NATO have been sent to boost the confidence of allies close to Russia. These muscle moves are clearly intended to impress the West, but Russia's economy is being stifled by Western sanctions imposed after its invasion of Ukraine.
And that's an act of war too when you put sanctions on the country.
Vladimir Putin needs to keep his people focused on the nation's swollen chest, not the enfeebled economic heart.
Very startling announcement from NATO today, Wolf, that they are concerned about some stepped up Russian air activity over European airspace where thousands of commercial airliners fly. Let me put up a map for a minute and just let's leave it up there and walk through what is happening between NATO and
America's a problem. America's a troublemaker. Sweden is neutral too. Sweden is neutral, man. The USSR, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Russia, Kazakhstan, Moldova. Them countries are gonna come together, man. They're gonna come together. The USSR. That's what scriptures say, put hooks in Magog and Gog.
the Russians. Over the last 2 days, NATO has monitored an increased number of Russian flights. They have been over the North Atlantic, the Balkans, the Baltic, and to the east in the Black Sea. A number of European air forces have responded. They are intercepting these flights. They are generally Russian Bear bombers with refueling aircraft.
Russian Bear bombers, that's right. Mother Bear Russia.
In groups of 8. Now, here's the problem.
8 is glory. Yahweh Shem Yahushai gonna get the glory, man. He's gonna deliver the elect. Destroy this place. Time to know he had his sons and their wives. Those 8 went into that ark. Or will we the elect that go into that ark? And chariots, when Yahushai, the King of Kings, comes back. In the midst of this third world war, simultaneously he's gonna deliver his elect and blast more fire upon America.
They're not doing anything particularly illegal. They are not violating airspace. They are being intercepted. There has been no startling military move. But the problem, they are not filing flight plans. They are not using their transponders, and they are not in radio contact with civilian air traffic control over
That's
Europe.
right. They're basically saying, fuck y'all. We're going to do what we want. That's the spirit, man. Those point the Russians like, fuck you. We ain't communicating. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Make your move.
this is raising concerns. These civilian air traffic controllers, the commercial aircraft that fly all over the European continent, those air traffic controllers need to know what is out there, and the Russians are keeping silent. It can be a very dangerous
The Russians are saying, fuck you, Americans. That's what they're saying.
situation.
Russia has successfully test-fired a new intercontinental ballistic missile.
Intercontinental, because it goes to one continent to another, which is going to be America. It takes 22 minutes to reach from Russia to America. The Lord said he's going to destroy America in 1 hour.
The Defense Ministry said that their Yuri Dolgoruki nuclear submarine launched the missile from an underwater position towards a testing range in the far east of the country. The 12-meter-long missile has undergone a number of tests and can deliver an impact 100 times the atomic blast that devastated Hiroshima in 1945. The missile weighs 36.8 tons and holds 6 to 10 nuclear warheads. The launch was key to confirming the capability of the missile. This was the first missile launch from the submarine since it joined Russia's Northern Fleet.
It's like the days of the Cold War, an unusually high number of Russian warplanes flying near Europe. Officials say fighter jets and bombers like these may be putting commercial flights in danger. That's what they're saying. I want to show you what happened over in the map. When you see it on the continent, it's quite something to see, as one of our information specialists was just showing me. NATO reports that European countries intercepted more than 20 Russian aircraft over the past 2 days alone. They were traveling along these red lines that you see up here. See that thing? That's a long way. Officials say that the 2 Russian bombers kept going all the way to the coast of Portugal, all the way down here, and then made a loop back. And that's when that country's Air Force took action. Senior U.S. official says Russia is trying to provoke its neighbors because of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Now, you see all these that are highlighted here, all these countries, all of those participated in one way or another in sort of trying to get after these Russian MiGs or whatever the heck they were. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's probably going to go take another country. John Bussey is here from the Wall Street Journal, the assistant managing editor there. Is this just a show of domestic, I'm awesome, or what is he doing?
Yes, it's hugely popular at home. Ukraine has been popular at home.
Ukraine by
He
USSR.
sure to continue to bolster that popular support within Russia. He wants to be viewed as a strong man. He wants to show Western countries that might be participating in sanctions that there could be a price for those that are a little bit skittish of additional sanctions. Let me send a few bombers and fighter planes and refueling planes over European airspace, not into any country's airspace, but have them circle through Europe, as you were pointing out,
In the Baltic Sea.
yeah, that's right, and cause all of these countries to have to burn a lot of jet fuel chasing me. So Denmark,
Fucking with 'em.
Germany, the UK, Norway, Portugal, Turkey, all of them had to scramble jet fighters to surveil these planes.
It took a while at Marshall Academy, but the playground bully usually got reined in. What are they planning?
Yeah, well, so this, if in addition to probably being popular at home, as Stephen Fiedler's writing in the Wall Street Journal on our website, is probably going to bolster NATO's resolve even further. Now, this is not the first time this has happened. Over the last year, actually just this year, there have been roughly 100 interceptions of Russian planes that are kind of wandering around close to European airspace. That's 3 times what it was in
Russia's testing them. He's watching them, man. He's studying his enemy.
2013. So it's clear that Russia's tried to send this message. NATO is sending the message that it's going to create a spearhead force of about 1,000 troops. It's going to put it in Central Europe, in new NATO member countries, as kind of a tripwire. If Russia were to do something, you're going to encounter NATO forces not just